What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. This is the SmackDown, the Friday Night SmackDown review on January 19th, 2024. And and I'll say this was a really good show from start to finish. I'll say at least I'll say 9 times out of 10. And and I'll say even though Brock Lesnar haven't interrupted the contract signing segment, let alone being what everybody would predict it would be, but it still was a pretty interesting segment, which we're gonna get to right now. But before that, we seen the Bloodline entering the arena in the Allstate Arena of Atlanta, Georgia, and this is where Nick Aldis announced and introduced all the members of not all the members, all the participants of this future Fatal 4-Way match a week from tomorrow at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event. Which he announced the phenomenal AJ Styles, and then LA Knight, Randy Orton. All three of them were there, except for Roman. But he just sent out his special counsel or wise man, whatever you want to call him, Paul Heyman, which they signed the contracts, signed their names on the contract to make this official, except for Roman Reigns. But they did, when they played his music, it was that Roman Reigns wasn't looking like he was about to enter the ring to be the fourth ever participant, the fourth, I don't say ever, but I'll say the fourth participant of entering the ring to sign the contract. But Paul Heyman's like, Roman Reigns is not going to sign this contract because because he thinks he does not need to sign this because it shouldn't be a fatal 4-way match in the first place. He's like, and your tribal chief Roman Reigns and I we were discussing that we never had a chance to commit this contract, this contract of this contract signing deal, let alone the wise man haven't sent his eye on to. And before he could finish his statement, this is where the fans started being like, boo, like if Dominic Mysterio was with him, but it didn't need to be the ex-con-dom of the ex-con-dom of the Judgment Day to be there, because obviously he's a Raw guy, not a SmackDown guy. This is where Paul Heyman with that as I was saying, as of what I on that agreement, therefore, unfortunately Roman is Reigns is not gonna will not sign this contract. And this is where Nick Aldis was like, okay, you don't have to sign the contract. And let me be clear, this fatal 4-way match can turn into a triple threat match for the vacant, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And this is where Paul Heyman turned around and stood if somebody just said that him and the tribal chief was gonna be sent to the death penalty on him to see with his eye reactions no, you would not do that, you cannot do this, you shouldn't have any control of doing that. And then this is where Paul Heyman's like you should not demand us to sign this contract that we didn't even ask for. And this is where the fans start chanting Randy, 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 and all around the Allstate Arena. And this is where Paul Heyman had this to say while on the microphone, saying, I'm sorry, he was with a stuttered voice, of course. I don't realize this, Nick, by Mr. Aldis. I care deeply about you, sir. I respect you, what you have done in an industry like this. And then this is where fans are boo, we're not gonna buy this bull sugar honey iced tea. That's a load of sugar honey iced tea you're talking about, and it's not a sweet a sweet, refreshing beverage that they're referring to, of course. But anyways, this is where Paul Heyman did continue. Like, so I do, like, I really do respect. Like, I halfway respect that and admire the mediocre legs that you done with a shooken voice and a shooken Heyman saying this. Like, I bound like executive like the show, like, and you being the executive producer and also he didn't say exactly producer, but he said executive. He just cut himself from saying the producer part, but he said, "How would you to run the show and your GM of SmackDown? Like you do a job like no other that many of those people can do back there. Like you look really good at it. Like especially in these like Paul Heyman." They're in this Paul Heyman inspired custom suit that you're wearing. I was like, how do you know if it's an inspiration of you? Like if it's an inspiration of inspiration of the suit in general. He's like, but on the behalf of the board of directors, there's no way that you can you cannot send these you cannot humiliate Roman Reigns with around these lovely people in Atlanta, Georgia. And there was a mixed reaction with the fans, with some cheered, some booed. Like there was a mixed chants, like with boos and cheers. Because Roman Reigns like is the only one that called the shots on Friday Night SmackDown because the WWE should be defending the title at the Royal Rumble with a one-on-one match with any of those three men. I'm like, well, that's very hypocritical because your boys Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, main event Jim Uso and your enforcer Solo is the one that made this match happen. Like with them interfering in the number one contenders one-on-one match between Orton, Styles, and Knight. So if you did not want this match to be a four-way match, you should have might as well could have seen who could have won, and that could have been someone like Randy Orton that won the match and faced Roman Reigns, and then it would be maybe and just maybe be a fair fight. But anyway, this is where. And that's where while he said it should be a one-on-one match, you start pointing at each one of the guys that are the challengers for Roman Reigns' belt. And this is when Nick Aldis like, Paul Heyman, you're just something else. Well, saying it on the microphone. He just said it right. And then this is where Paul Heyman's like, I don't care what you say, Nick. And this is where LA Knight got tired of hearing Paul Heyman's mouth. He was like, we'll shut the hell up and get this over with. And then everybody was cheering him like, yeah. And then this is where LA Knight's like, I'm getting sick and tired of him. But I can say this: you're right about one thing about this situation of one-on-one match. Like it should be me and because for the fact that I had Roman Reigns pinned at Crown Jewel, like I should have been the WWE Championship. But if that had been for his dishonest cousins, now I'm not. Like Jimmy and Solo. And fans like, yeah, like we should see you. And this is where then LA Knight also hilariously said, like, Heyman, if you say one more word, I'll cut a slab of bacon off your back. Considering he looks fatter than a pig, of course. But hopefully I didn't offend no one for saying that. But anyways, this is where fans started laughing, started cheering for LA Knight for roasting Paul Heyman on the microphone. And this is where LA Knight said, like, and also this should be my rematch right here without anybody being involved. Like a couple of what did he call them? It was he's like it was supposed to be one-on-one match, but the tip like this is where he said he called Styles and Orton a Johnny come lately. Yeah, that's what he called him. A Johnny come lately has walked up and I tried to ask for a title shot, like when they were absent for the past few months. And AJ Styles like, from the past few months, huh? What do you say? Like, this is actually supposed to be mine. Like, few months off, what'd you say? Like, nah. Like, and the fans were chanting, like, yeah. And he was like, Knight, you don't get it. Like, see, what? Like the bloodline tried to end my career. Like, can you walk over my dead body? Like, forget that match with Roman Reigns. Like, I did not have that match whatsoever. Like, and you replaced me in that position, and you lost. Like, what was the point? And then this is where LA Knight's like was staring at him like, what do you mean by that? And then this is where AJ Styles like, you were lucky to be in this match at first, but otherwise they wouldn't even pay no minds of you being in this main event spot. And this is where LA Knight's like, you're talking about the wrong guy here. Like, if anybody force, if there's some horseshoe that's clearly up this keister, it's got to be you, definitely, AJ. And then he was like, I'll tell you like this, man. You should be really watch the bass in your voice when you're talking to me. And go ahead and then tell all your attention to Roman Reigns and set all your attention to Roman Reigns. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right, genius. You clearly understand, that we're not just fighting Roman Reigns here. We're fighting each other in a four-way. It's every man for himself. Get that in your thick skull, genius. And this is where LA Knight was he was like, I'm glad you just explained that to me, because I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna be at the next week. I'm gonna walk here. I pin Roman Reigns. I become the new WWE champion. Because that means and he was like, if that means I have to walk over your dead body once again, I will do that. And then this is where Randy Orton was nearly in laughter when he was looking at this argument between Knight and Styles of going at it back and forth. And this is where and this is where it's and also one more thing, it won't be the next time when you're in a dead body, it won't be the bloodline that will be doing the beating down on you. It'll be the man that's right here in your face, where everybody's saying my name, L.A. Knight, with the fans saying it along. This is where they start brawling, to start hitting fists around each other. With AJ Styles started with a huge fist in his face after he said that phrase. This is where he took it on the ringside area. This is where Paul Heyman was grinning, with Nick Aldis trying to break up AJ Styles and LA Knight throwing fists at each other, in the stage area of the ring, in the arena. And then this is where all the producers and security, all the WWE backstage producers and security and referees start breaking it up of the fight. And then this is where, Paul Heyman was continuously to smile. This is where he did not realize that somebody was right behind him, and that was none other than the Viper himself. This is where he started doing a grin of his own, and this is where he pulled on to his tie, and this is where he started twirling it, and this is where he's like, hey, I see what you're trying to do, Paul. And it's not gonna work on me. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna work. And this is where he's like, it's not gonna work because later tonight I'm gonna drop your Solo, your enforcer of your family, and I'm gonna do that with the most right here in this exact middle in the ring mat. And then he's like, and after I win, I'm going to introduce Roman Reigns, the three most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment, RKO. With the fans saying it along with the Viper. But yeah, being the second guy I'd say he's number one, with LA Knight coming second of roasting Paul Heyman on the microphone. because Randy Orton's definitely the GOAT, and he said it so smoothly and with confidence. He don't care who it is or who is he going against. He'll say what he's gonna do, and he's gonna do it. He's a man of his words, and whether if they deserve it or not, he's gonna lay them out with the most three dangerous letters in sports entertainment, like what he just said to Paul Heyman. But what were your thoughts on Randy Orton's match against Solo at the main event of tonight's Friday Night SmackDown? Let me know in the comments down below. Which I'll say that was definitely the match of the night, like I would expected it to be, because at this point, and especially Randy Orton in general, when it comes to him being the main eventer, it's never a dull moment. From me and experience watching him back over 15 years ago with my brother, with my brother being a Randy Orton fanboy, it's never boring to watch his matches. Him and John Cena are That's why they call it the GOATs. Both Cena and Orton are the top GOATs in WWE. Like, guaranteed, yeah. But anyways, this is where next up we got some we got the 6-man tag match with the Carlitos LWO taking on Santos Escobar's LWO in a 6-man tag match. I would say the match was kind of was a cliffhanger, but it was a very entertaining match, like to say the least. But anyways, this is where we got backstage with Nick Aldis trying to go directly to Roman Reigns' locker room. But this is where we got interrupted by AJ Styles, sort of. And this is where he's like, put me in a match with LA Knight tonight now. And then this is where Nick Aldis like, okay, if you say so. And this is where we do get the match, like right before the main event. And I mean exactly right before the main event, because there will be some shenanigans going on. Right before Orton taking on Solo at the end of the night. But we're going to get to that in just a moment. But we're going to talk about what went down on Santos Escobar LWO taking on Carlitos LWO. And it started off with, I believe, Joaquin Wilde and of Carlitos LWO taking on Angel Garza from Santos Escobar's LWO. But anyway, this is where it was Cruz del Toro taking on Angel Garza when Cruz del Toro trying to Irish whip Angel Garza right to the upper right side, but he gets countered by Angel Garza. This is where he flips right over, hits him right in the midsection, hit a hot shot right into the throat first, right onto the top corner ropes. This is where then he hits a springboard right onto those exact same ropes into a Hurricane Rana right onto Angel Garza, which made him roll onto the left side. This is where he tags in Joaquin Wilde, and this is where the double Irish whips him right to the left corner side ropes. Hits a double back elbow right into the face. This is where Carlito sit and watch and enjoy like his teammates bringing a beating to Santos's teammate. But this is where also Cruz del Toro did a hip toss back inside out moonsault with Joaquin Wilde the springboard moonsault. But unfortunately, he only got a 1 even count. This is where Angel Garza Irish whips him in the counter, like when he tried to hit him to the right side. But he counters, and this is where he hit the chop right into his chest. This is where Angel's cousin Humberto Carrillo tried to go for an attack, but this is where he dodges out of the way, hits the springboard arm drag right onto Angel Garza, right from the upper left corner side. This is where Joaquin Wilde goes right up on the top, right on the left side rope. This is where Santos Escobar tried to close on him out of there, but he flips him right over. This is where Carlito tried to do exact we're gonna like Carlito went in the ring. This is where he grabs on the top rope into the left corner side. This is where Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro went right from the right side to the left and goes right over the top rope, where Carlito using the ropes as a catapult, where they go catapult right 10 feet in the air and lands right onto to Santos Escobar and his crew, right into the left corner side of the ringside area. Well, I'll say Santos Escobar. I'll say his new minions, like which is Angel Garza and his cousin Humberto Carrillo. This is where they got back in the ring. This is where the Joaquin Wilde and I believe Humberto was continuing to fight until Humberto got the upper hand onto Joaquin. This is where he tags in his cousin, and then this is where tagging Santos Escobar, snap mirrored him like face first right into the canvas, picked him right up, like with him still laid out, and this is where Santos Escobar goes for a middle missile drop kick right into the face. But I think Humberto got re-tagged back in, or he was still the legal man, because he was in the ring when they got into the ring. It was kind of confusing, but this is where he tried to go for a pin. He only got a 2. This is where he tried hitting knife-edge chops right onto Joaquin Wilde, trying to intimidate him and make sure he stays down for the count, like stay down for the count, like until like they hit their finisher on him. But I don't think that was going to happen. I don't think anybody knew that was going to happen, but even though they had him at that one hand of having the upper hand onto Joaquin Wilds. And anyways, this is where Humberto tagged in his cousin Angel. Angel tagged in Santos. This is where they That's where that's where both the cousins did a double military press right up in the air, right to Joaquin Wild. This is where they try to talk. This is where Santos Escobar was on his left knee, or I should say, his left knee with his right knee sticking up. This is where he's like, "Come on, right in my knee." And this is where they landed him right torso first, right onto Santos's right knee. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he kicks out at 2 even or 2.1. Either one, like it was 2 either way, but it doesn't even matter. But this is where he picks up Joaquin Wild, hit him with a back suplex. This is where he starts arrogantly taunting both Carlito and Cruz del Toro, mostly Carlito, because he cannot stand the guy for some reason. Like just because Rey Mysterio brought him in the LWO faction. But anyway, this is where he tried to go for a cover, which I don't think that was a smart idea from of Santos, because he easily kicked out right after 2, which was, I believe, 2 even. But anyways, this is where he grabs him onto him into a guillotine position, pull himself back along with Joaquin Wilds, and this is where they start double teaming the poor guy, just because he's the more quickest and the more speed than anybody in Carlito's LWO team in SmackDown right now. With him tagging in Humberto Carrillo, and then both him and Angel Garza are double stomping on the poor guy in a double team position. This is where he tagged in his cousin back in the match. This is where he hit the sliding kick right to the face of poor Joaquin. This is where he started continuing to put him in a headlock, right? And this is where Wilds then countered out of it. This is where he hits a jawbreaker right onto the Humberto Carrillo. This is where he went right from the right side. This is where he hits a flying head scissors DDT right into the middle of the canvas, face first, I should say. This is where he finally got back onto his feet. This is where he tried to tag in Carlito, but this is where Angel Garza hits him face first, right into the hardest part of the ring, face first, tripping him over so Joaquin won't get the tag, the hot fresh tag, I should say, like what everybody would say in the IWC. But anyways, this is where Humberto Carrillo thought he had the upper hand right onto Joaquin Wild, but he was absolutely overconfident. This is where Joaquin Wild flipped out of it. This is where he goes for a flip right back into the side, like rolling to a duck. This is where he finally tagged in Carlito with the hot tag. Carlito hit him with those 2 clothesons in a row. This is where he hits one to Humberto Carrillo, or Angel Garza did Humberto Carrillo. This is where he tried to Irish whip Humberto Carrillo with a. Excuse me. Try to Irish whip him right to the right side of the rope. This is where he counters out of it and hits a running drop kick. Was it a drop kick or no? It was a running left hand. Be careful when you're tossing things, right? But anyways, this is where he hits the drop kick right to Angel Garza. This is where he throws Humberto Carrillo right into Angel Garza. This is where he hits the spine buster right onto Trey. Be careful. This is where he hit the spine buster right on the Humberto, but he nearly got the win. But if it hadn't been for Santos Escobar, this is where he tried to go for a 1-2, but what's his name came out of Santos Escobar came out of nowhere and whacked him right. This is where he stopped him right at 2.7, I guess I would say. And then this is where he went face to face right onto Santos. Santos was trying to beg and plead that he say, "I know I didn't mean by that. I was helping my friend out here. Like, please don't hurt me. I'm just doing my job." And this is where Carlito's was like, "Oh, you asked for it now." This is where he chased him out of the ring. This is where he's like, "I bet you, he asked for it now. Like, I bet you don't want no problem." This is where Humberto Carrillo came out of nowhere, hit a springboard enziguri kick right into the face, right, made him went flat down right into the middle of the ring. This is where Humberto Carrillo tried to go for a pin, but luckily Cruz del Toro was there for the save. Like, so it was 2.4, and this is where Santos Escobar hits running super kick like drop kick right into the face on Cruz Del Toro. But this is where he tried to go for his other former teammate of the LWO and Legado del Fantasma, like with and try to spear Joaquin Wild, was it? Yeah, but he dodged him, go for a springboard alley-oop somersault, super kicks him right into the face. This is where he knocks him down right into the left, knock him right off the ring and landed him right into the left corner side of the ring side area. This is where Angel Garza hit a super kick right on his own and sent him right with his former stablemate. This is where Carlito went right from behind. This is where he hits a double clawed spine buster right onto Angel Garza. This is where Angel Garza, hey, this is getting more easier and easier about me. This is where he tried to go for his finishing move, the backstabber, right onto the Humberto Carrillo because he couldn't find his apple. And this is where he was trying to grab him right off the corner, but Humberto Carrillo was hanging on to the ropes. This is where Santos Escobar tags himself right into the ring. This is where he tried to go for. This is where he hits the backstab on him, but what he didn't know that he wasn't the legal man anymore. So this is where he started chasing that when Humberto Carrillo was suspiciously rolling out of the ring. This is where Santos Escobar quickly get back in the ring. This is where he rolled him up into a schoolboy in the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll for the 1-2-3, which was the dirty finish for the Santos Escobar's Latino World Order stablemate. Stable, I should say. Stable mates. Like, even though he got the win for the stable mates, I say the stable, the Latino World Order stable. But your winners, Santos Escobar, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza. Which I would say this was maybe, I would say this third match of the night, perhaps. Not because it wasn't a bad match. It's just that it was just very somewhere in the mid card, like something that you would just book in the middle rather than being an opener. So I would say third match of the night on this match. But let me know in the comments down below on what's your thoughts on what excuse me what. But let me know in the comments down below what's your thoughts on this match. But we're gonna move on to the next slide, which was a backstage interview. Hopefully, Caleb Braxton's doing all right. Like after being harassed on social media by that Mark named Kevin Scrumpoli, I believe his name is. Which he also harassed Luke Harper's wife and even Mercedes Moné as well. But that's a story for another day. But hopefully she's doing all right after being called out by that hater on Twitter by calling her a R baby, which I'm not going to say what I'm not going to explain, I should say, what that stands for. But that's because that's a story for another day. But she was in the backstage interview with the Pretty Deadlies, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. And then this is where they started making fun of how dumb Butch is. He was like, and also they were saying like the reason why they didn't win last week is because because of Butch's surprising mystery partner from last week. Which I don't think that's a perfect excuse for the reason why they lost. Like that's because they're just trying to use that as an excuse because they don't want to admit that Butch and Tyler Bate is more talented than they are. And then this is where it's like this is more different because we have a foolproof plan that no one, not even Bate or Butch, can figure it out. But what they did not know that Butch is no longer going to be that name, rather than his old NXT name and his wrestling name in general, of course, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Which I was like, it's about time they finally bring Pete Dunne's name back. And I heard rumor had that they were trying to push Butch to be a single star by the end of 2023, but it looks like something might have postponed it from this point on in the beginning of 2024. Like whatever plan, it still stick to the plan, but they extended it and postponed it until 2024 to bring back his Pete Dunne name and go as a single star. well, it's more rather they probably changed it and made it with Tyler Bate being his tag team partner now as they go forward on SmackDown because him and Tyler Bate go way back since their teenage years in the UK when they were wrestling, when they were starting their future wrestling careers at the time, I should say. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about what exactly went down on tonight's Friday Night SmackDown, the tag team match. But before we do talk about that, we need to. We also want to. We need to talk about like what exactly went down with this vignette hype video between the Profits and what's their name, the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, with them sending a message to Karrion Kross that with them saying you boys we're nowhere to be seen in the dark being boogeyman's, like we were being the real deal, like in the ring being the biggest monsters in the tag division, like with Angelo Dawkins saying that to the AOP, and this is where they say, and it's and this is where Montez Ford, like the final testament is the in Revelation, like is the fight that you are and for business and we'll beat your ass anytime. Like to both the authors of Pain and Karrion Kross. This is where Bobby Lashley's like, look, like pick us a match, like every time, any place, anywhere. Like we've been trying to bring you down to the ring for weeks now, and now I remind you, we're gonna show you what intimidation really looks like. Like, but what's your thoughts on this future 6-man tag match? Do you think that it's going to be like next week, or is it going to be the week after, like in the post SmackDown after the Royal Rumble Premium Live event, or is it going to be at Elimination Chambers or any other SmackDown in the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks? But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of that in the comments down below. I would say not judge, more like predictors, I should say. But yeah, I'll let you be the predictors in the comments down below. And I would say, I'm not sure who would win this fight, which I would say Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, because you don't want to just hurry up and bury them away from guys that they look intimidating as well. But it wouldn't make any sense because they got the first attack onto Lashley. I mean, Bobby and the Street Profits would get the upper hand, and we could see a controversial finish from Karrion Kross and Razor and Akam. But let's move on to the match, which was the match between Tyler Bate and the returning Pete Dunne taking on Elton Prince and Kit Wilson of the Pretty Deadly. But this is where we got Tyler Bate start the match with Kit Wilson, with him putting him in a headlock. This is where he went round to the left side, got tagged in by Butch. Not Butch, Pete Dunne. I'm too used to calling him Butch, but now it's Pete Dunne. This is where he Irish whips Kit Wilson right onto the right side. This is where Ducks leapfrog. Butch, sorry, I keep calling him Butch, but it's Pete Dunne now. Pete Dunne ran him to a clothesline out of nowhere. This is where Pete Dunne started looking at what's his name, Kit Wilson's like, all right, we get it. I was like, well, you're way too sensitive, like, because I bet that hardly hurt with a one single clothesline to bring you down. Like, are you serious? This is where he's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I'll never make fun of you again. Like, you're a genius. And this is where he's like, I'm not buying it. This is where he put him in a hammerlock. This is where he bent his left arm back right to his left side onto the canvas. This is where he started bending the right fingers. This is where he started repeatedly doing that by putting his knee onto the right side of the face of, what's his name? Kit Wilson. Yeah, that's right, of Pretty Deadly. This is where he bent his arm back and started twisting the arm. And this is where he's like, my leg's on the ropes. And this is where Butch was like, I'm not doing a submission on you. I'm doing a very torturing I'm doing like a torturing device maneuver on you. Like, there's a big difference on that. And this is where he tagged in Tyler Bate back in the match. This is where he's like, go get on my back. And this is where he on the middle rope. This is where he put his knees right on his back and then hits a very impressive senton right off of it. And this is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Kit Wilson kicks out instantly. This is where he picks him up. He's like, no matter. This is where he starts spinning him around like like you usually do, which is like you always do, which is what's that the spinning fireman's carry, I should say. I don't know the name specifically, but it's a fireman's spin. I'll say in basic wrestling names, and this is where Elton Prince tried to stop what's his name, Tyler Bate, but he gets hit right in the face. This is where he knocks him down right onto the middle of the canvas. But this is where Kid Wilson then rolled out of the ring, and this is where he landed right on the outside, jumping on the outside. He was like, I'd rather get hurt by the concrete than this menace. Like, I was like, the concrete's more worse than what Tyler Bate's doing to you. Like, you're being absolutely dramatic, pretty deadly. But anyway, this is where they somehow got back in the ring. This is where he tagged in Elton Prince. Elton Prince did his beating and offense onto Tyler Bate. This is where he tagged him right back in the ring. Hits a side kick right into the left side of Tyler Bate's face. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he only got a 1 even count. Or it could have been 2, but I think it was 1. But anyway, this is where Kid Wilson tried to go for a headlock right onto Tyler Bate, right into the bottom left side. This is where Tyler Bate this is where he started waving his arm. This is where he started hitting lefts and rights right in the midsection. This is where Kid Wilson tried to go for a bad suplex, but Tyler Bate didn't flip out of it. This is where he landed right into the bottom right corner. This is where Kid Wilson tried to attack him, but he gets kicked right into the face. This is where he elbows Elton Prince. This is where he tried to land right on top of Tyler Bate, but this is where Tyler Bate counters and intercepts into an exploder suplex right onto Kid Wilson. This is where he started crawling right into Pete Dunne's corner, right into the upper left. This is where he gets the tag right into the bruiserweight. This is where Elton Prince gets tagged in by his partner Kid Wilson. This is where he started hitting step-up Instigiri Shining Wizard kicks right onto the Elton Prince. This is where the Kid Wilson tried to save his partner, but Pete Dunne dodges out of Kid Wilson's grasp, and this is where he pushes him right into the left corner ropes, hits the German suplex while he torpedoes off. This is where Butch stomps on both fingers and hands of Kid Wilson. This is where he did it a second time, hits him with a spinning attic roundhouse kick. This is where Elton Prince trying to go for a German suplex right on the Butch, but he flips over into a backflip, hits a forward roundhouse kick right into the head of Elton Prince when he was in a snapmare position. This is where Butch hits a suplex and then a flip right back first right onto the tag partner Elton Prince. This is where Butch was like, well, like, it's brutalizing time. Like, and then this is where he started continuing to stomp with his right foot right into the right head of Elton Prince, or was it on the left head of Elton? I think it was the left head of Elton Prince, and then he did a double foot stomp right into his torso. This is where he's like bitter end, and this is where he tried to go for a bitter end, but he gets kicked right into the face and an interception by Elton Prince. And this is where he landed right into his corner, get the hot tag from Tyler Bate. This is where Tyler Bate started hitting whammed back elbows right onto with a wham elbow right onto Elton Prince. This is where Elton Prince tried to go for a kick, but he grabbed onto it. He put the stop sign up in his left arm and then struck him with the left hand, the stop sign knockout. And this is where Kid Wilson tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where Tyler Bate ducks out of the way. This is where he try to go for a rebound clothesline, but Tyler Bate ducks out of the way. This is where he ducks and stuck his head right outside of the rope.